What up? It's your boy Ray V. Let's get it.
Sad boy.
Sad boy quote of the day.
FA for feels is for fantasy, so let's get into our deepest fantasies, baby.
I'll give you a third for him, though. Wednesday, y'all. Let's work on your team. Let's see what sucker we got on the block today. Alright, so we're back in Winner's Circle today. 10-team Dynasty, Superflex, half PPR. And this poor soul we're checking out today is right here, KAMARA virus. Maybe KAMARA does have a virus because, dang, he does not look long for the team. Maybe he will still be there on the Saints, but who knows? I could totally see the Saints trading him, but it looks like right now he's going to be on the team. It's kind of crazy. So in this league, we have 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 1 super flex, 2 D-line, 2 linebacker, 2 DB, 1 IDP, and 10 bench spots, 4 IRs, and 4 taxis. So let's go through his team. He has Jalen Hurts, Devon Achane, DeAndre Swift, Jamar Chase, Michael Wilson, Goddard, Dowdle, Nix, Hutchinson, Bonito, Ellis, David, Hufanga, Jordan Battle, and Brooks. On his bench, he has Kirk Cousins, Alvin Kamara, Blake Corum, Rashad White, Estime, Mooney, Godwin, Jaden Reed, Gatskin, and Edwards. On his IR, he has Rome Odunze, Neal, Connor, and Tucker Kraft. Taxi squad, Pat Bryant, Caleb Johnson, Bill, and Tesla. And for his picks, it looks like he has no change in draft picks. Everything is there. So just looking at the team real quick, I mean, that's a good 1 running back right there. Kamara was really good. You can see where the fall off happened. So Swift and Dowdle, definitely could get a stronger RB2, but, good enough. Quarterbacks are Jalen Hurts and Bo Nix. I like Nix. I don't really like Hurts, but Hurts produces. So, not too bad. Kirk Cousins, I mean, now he's the starting quarterback in Vegas. Maybe he'll be good again, but, that's just his 3rd quarterback. Kamara, and Connor went down. That was his other running back. Tucker Kraft must have really hurt him, but, I mean, at least he had Goddard, suitable, replaceable tight end. But obviously not producing as much as Tucker Kraft. Jamar Chase, heavy carry. Michael Wilson was carrying at the end of the season. Got Mooney, who probably has some flex value at least. Godwin could probably give wide receiver 2. Jaden Reed, probably wide receiver 2 flex still. And Rome Odunze, as long as his new normal is chill. I don't know. He didn't sound that confident when he was saying it. Still got Bill in his taxi, so if Bill takes over, that's a good RB2 right there. And Mayo, Tron, Isaac Tesla, could be a good flex at least. I wouldn't say wide receiver 2. Not a bad team right here. So the draft's still not set up in our league, but I think he was the 7th pick. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm doing the math wrong. So he's in the 7th slot right here, and he has all his own picks, so he's going to be right here the entire time. So it won't be too bad to follow along. So at the 7th pick, he's going to land around Jadarian Price, Casey Concepcion. Obviously, if Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, any of these guys fall, Mendoza falls, I would just take them at 1-7, take your value, walk away. But if they don't fall, you're stuck between Jadarian Price, Casey Concepcion, whichever one's left over for you. Even though in your situation, it seems like we're talking about you need a stronger RB2, I'd rather just take Casey Concepcion. I think Seattle is just going to stick in their timeshare. Charbonnet's going to come back and muck up everything. I really think that George Lonnie is just going to take it. It's going to be in a timeshare with Jadarian Price, like for real. They're just going to have him working there as Zach Charbonnet type of guy while he's still out and recovering. And then when Zach Charbonnet comes back, shoot, I don't even know what's going to go on. But I just feel like that's how Seattle wants to play the game. They don't want a super bell cow. That's how all the reports are coming out. They just don't want to give Jadarian Price the ball 300 plus times this season. I mean, they want to preserve him and everything. So, I mean, kind of makes sense, but whatever. I would not take Kenyon Siddiqui. I'd rather just take the wide receiver. Obviously, if Jadarian Price falls at 1-7, I feel like you just got to take him. The value's right there, even if you don't like him. If you really don't like him, like I don't, I'd probably just try to trade him away, trade that pick away straight up. If he's the one there, that's probably the most value you'd get out of him, albeit an injury to another one of the running backs in the room. Kenyon Siddiq, I like Kenyon Siddiq. I think he's going to be good, but you really don't need him. And trading tight ends in this league is already a hassle enough, so you got Goddard, you got Tucker Kraft, you're fine. Ty Simpson right here, I don't think I would take Ty Simpson at 1-7 at all. Even though your 3rd quarterback kind of iffy right now, and you could just stash this guy on the taxi, so it doesn't even count as a 3rd active roster quarterback. You could just stash Ty Simpson on your taxi, and he wouldn't even count on the 3 quarterback rule. Forgot to say that earlier. This is the league. You can only have 3 active quarterbacks on your roster at a time, but nah, I still wouldn't do it. So that's probably what I would do at 1-7. That is what I would do at 1-7. If I were you, yeah, I would just take the leftover of Jadarian Price, Casey Concepcion, and hope it's Casey Concepcion. If you get Jadarian Price, you get Jadarian Price. Try trade him. Try to trade him immediately. Try to trade him while the commodity's still hot. Shoot, get him out of there. Get him out of there. So your next pick is pick 17. So 17th overall rookie. You fall right here where I just put a bunch of IDP players. However, it's gonna go down. I believe you fell right on Ruben Bain. So an IDP right here would be pretty good. I was gonna try to pull up your team, but obviously since it's not set, it's not showing me your team at 1-7. Hella dumb. A D lineman would be pretty good. D lineman at 2-7 at the 17th overall pick would be pretty good. I think your DBs were pretty good. I think you had the second and third best DBs in the league and points. You have Hutchinson already off the top of my head. Maybe a second D lineman would really help you. I don't remember who your other D lineman is. You could just straight up go Antonio Williams here if he's there. Nick Singleton, Chris Bell, Zachariah Branch, Stribling. Any of these guys will really help you. Obviously, like Jeremy Bernard, Antonio Williams will probably produce like right out the gate. Wide receiver 2, flex numbers. But someone like Chris Bell would really fit your team where he just gets to sit on your taxi marinade, give this year to recover from that ACL tear, and, you know, just be better next year. Could be the main guy for Miami next year. Who knows? Maybe he gets a new quarterback. Maybe Malik Willis pops off and he becomes his guy. I don't know. Something like that would really work for you. Zachariah Branch would be really nice too. Maybe even Stribling if you want to reach your Stribling. You want to be a Niner guy. Ted Hurst. I would not grab Emmett Johnson right here. Even Nick Singleton. You know, all the news coming out, all the hype pieces on Tony Pollard. The guy they're even hyping Tajay Spears more. So maybe by the time our draft comes, Nick Singleton falls a little bit more. He's no longer around that 2-2 area. You're already at the 2-7, and it looks like he might be there for you. So he's a little iffy, but he'd be a good bet to jump into your running back room and be one of the producers. But overall, I think I take Antonio Williams somehow falls there at the 2-7. Jeremy Bernard, Nick Singleton, Chris Bell, Zachariah Branch, Stribling is probably my order for you. Your next pick is the 3-7, which is the 27th overall pick. So you fall right here at Carson Beck, Adam Randall, Kalen Black, Elijah Surratt, around that area. So if Ted Hurst is there, Stribling is there, I would take them over Carson Beck. I would not take Carson Beck if I were you. Your quarterbacks are good enough to where you don't really have to worry about that third quarterback. That third quarterback is just a bye week filler for the most part. Adam Randall would be pretty nice. Kalen Black as well. Elijah Surratt. Would not grab Katron Allen right here. Would not do Malachi Fields. Damon Claiborne, I would only grab him right here if both these guys are gone. So hopefully for you at 3-7, you know, somebody falls from right here. That'd be pretty nice if you get Stribling or Hurst at 3-7. Carson Beck, I mean, value I guess is there. With the 3 QB rule, it's kind of hard to trade quarterbacks nowadays in our league. So Adam Randall would be nice. Kalen Black, Elijah Surratt I'd be happy with. Even Malachi Fields, you can just pick him up and trade him after he has a good game. Hopefully Neighbors starts off slow or he's on the pup or something and he just says maximum value straight up right there. That would be a steal. Those are the guys I would focus on right there. And your last pick is 4-7, 37th overall pick. So you fall right here around Skylar Bell, Xavier Thomas, Mike Washington, Bryce Lance, Max Clare, Eli Raridon. I haven't messed with this since last week, but I think I'd have like Max Clare and Raridon probably above Bryce Lance for sure. Maybe above like Xavier Thomas too. Maybe like right here. I don't really want to move it right now, but Max Clare or Eli Raridon would probably be good for you. Maybe Caleb Douglas. Skylar Bell could be a good wide receiver too for his own team. Xavier Thomas will put up points, but it'll be very sporadic. Too many mouths to feed over there. But I feel like he will put up points, put up touchdowns during weeks, but it'll be definitely hard to call. But he could be valuable to somebody. Bryce Lance, you just want to get a part of that New Orleans offense. Yeah, right here at 4-7, I'd probably take Max Clare, Raridon, Caleb Douglas. I don't think I'd take any of these running backs. Maybe Heidenreich if you just want to take the shot on him. I mean, you're like the 4th to last pick right here anyway. Tyrus Allen wouldn't be too bad either, just taking a gamble, but I think I'd rather have Caleb Douglas above him. Skylar Bell as well. If Skylar Bell's right there, I think I'd take him. So my order would probably be Skylar Bell, Max Clare, Raridon, Douglas, Heidenreich, Allen for that 4-7 pick. I think I messed up the order of this. I think I was supposed to do waiver wire first, right? But here we go with the waiver wire. So we got Geno Smith on the waiver wire for quarterbacks. I think that was it, right? Yeah. Maybe you want to switch out Captain Kirk with Geno Smith, maybe. I feel like Geno Smith's going to start all season. I feel like Kirk Cousins could easily just pepper the ball to Brock Bowers and Ashton Jency and put up some points, honestly. For as long as he's going to start until Mendoza comes in. I think it's going to be his like season to lose, as in like they're going to just let him start until he just sucks. And if Captain Kirk's like average all season long, I feel like that's fine. I think they're going to let him play the entire season. I feel like they don't want Mendoza to get in there. I feel like they just want Mendoza to sit and learn and, you know, really take it in, and they don't want to throw him to the wolves yet. Maybe have a decent to bad record, get some more linemen in there for him, set him up for a better season next year is the plan, obviously. But if Kirk Cousins sucks, it does not look good, just on a super losing streak, I can totally see them taking Kirk out for Mendoza. Their game plan, I definitely think they want Mendoza to sit the whole year. Running backs, you got Tuden, probably is as good as DeAndre Swift, as good as Rico Dowdle. Seattle and has the upside to be better than both of them. You should put all your fab into him. Get that RB2 solidified. You got C-Rod, Keem Mitchell. Nothing too crazy. LaQuinn Allen. You want to take some points. Chris Brooks or Marshawn Lloyd if you want to take your shot on the Packers running back room. Wide receivers, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs. Both of these guys should be on teams, and I would definitely have both of them over who's on your team? Mooney. I would definitely have them over Mooney. Even if Malik Neighbors is out for a bit, definitely would trust Daniel Jones to Alec Pierce or Daniel Jones to Josh Downs more than Jackson Dart to Darnell Mooney. Jalen Coker's on here too. Jalen Naylor, Romeo Dobbs, Flournoy, Jalen McMillan. All great pickups. Bailey. Got Isaiah Likely, AJ Barner, who I'm hearing that he just might be unlocked this season. But I believe it was the Niners. It's the Niners, but I think it was the tight end coach going over there to be their offensive coordinator. Gunnar Helm, Chig Okonkwo. So it just feels like you just do not need to spend a luxury pick on Kenyon Sadiq. Obviously, Kenyon Sadiq, younger, better profile than all these guys, but these guys are just on the waivers. Like, it makes you feel less incentivized to spend a first-round pick on a tight end in our league. That's just the economy. Greg Dulcich is still on here. We've got a lot of waiver gems on there. Maybe we need some more bench spots because there's a lot of good guys on the waiver wire right here. Alec Pierce, Josh Downs is crazy. Tudin, all of these tight ends. Somebody should be holding up. So now we'll look at trades. I'll see if I could try to do some stuff for you. Third quarterback, maybe. Want more than a need. This guy's 4 quarterbacks, so if Deshaun Watson does start, he's gonna have to cut one. So maybe trade for Daniel Jones, trade for Kyler Murray. Would not trade for Deshaun Watson. Maybe you just trade for one of them, give him a second or something. I wouldn't be mad for giving a second for Kyler Murray. You're the 207. It's totally fine with me. For Kyler Murray, and maybe Bo Nix starts off slow, so you could plug in Kyler Murray for a while. A 1-year deal with Minnesota. Maybe Minnesota learns from letting Sam Darnold go for JJ McCarthy, and they keep Kyler Murray after a good year and they just boot JJ McCarthy, or leave him as a backup role. Maybe that happens now. Maybe they're learning. That'd be pretty good for Kyler. Daniel Jones, I'm seeing that he's cleared for everything and he should be definitely starting week 1. That might be a steal right there if this guy doesn't know that he's already ready. Guy also has Bucky Irving, Javonte Williams, David Montgomery, Ken Walker. This guy has a lot of running backs if you would actually like to try to get a running back 2 from him as well. Not necessarily the biggest thing, but not necessarily super needy, but would definitely help your team for sure. And honestly, a more solid wide receiver 2 would really help you. Maybe Michael Wilson comes into his own. Godwin could probably give you another good year if he's sticks on Tampa for the full year, but after that, I'm really not too sure. I'm hopeful. I like Godwin, but I don't know. Odunze, hopefully he's still good. Hopefully his new normal is just fine, but the way he said it was pretty weird. Didn't really sound good. Technically, what he said was all correct, but if he can come into his own, if he stays good, you'll have a fine wide receiver 2 right there anyway. Tucker Kraft returns to form. He'll be good right here, I guess. Running back 2, QB3, more of wants than needs. I guess running back 2 is more towards being a need than, upgrading Kirk Cousins, your QB3. But this guy looks like your partner right here. You, Kyler Murray. Guy just loves picks, so second for sure. Guy has Amon-Ra, Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Troy Franklin, Lyle Manor, Wandale Robinson, maybe Javonte. What would be his core right here? Probably Ken Walker's his core. Probably Walker, Bucky, and Montgomery. I mean, he put in Javonte on the block, so we could throw that in there. And maybe you can maybe you don't believe in Bill and you just want to get rid of him. Honestly, adding that 107 is probably what makes him more fair. I'd say 107 for Kyler Murray. Probably say Kyler Murray is probably 110-ish. More than a second, definitely. Bill around a second plus, and Javonte more than a second, less than a first. If that makes sense. Something like that is probably what it should be, but So I think this is the most even-ish deal. Maybe towards leaning this side has a little bit more value on it. So this is the absolute most I would pay. Obviously work your way up to this. So you want to, instead of this 107, put a second in 2027, add another running back instead of this second. That's the type of stuff you want to do. But this is the absolute highest I would pay. Be comfortable paying. Casey Concepcion, Jadarian Price. Who cares? I get Kyler Murray. Ja'Cory Crosby Merritt could be good. Javonte Williams just signed an extension. 207. What was 207 gonna be? Stribling, Jeremy Bernard or whatever. like, I don't really care. We can condense these two guys down and you get your solid RB2. This is probably the absolute most, maybe just a little bit too high of what I would pay for Kyler Murray, Javonte Williams, but I would obviously work up to this. It's probably the most comfortable, I would say, sending. But you could do something like that, or you could just straight up go Corey Crosby in a second for Javonte Williams. Probably get away with a second straight up for Daniel Jones if you want Daniel Jones instead of Kyler Murray. I definitely just think Kyler Murray's going to do better than Daniel Jones. You just go for Josh Allen, dude. Who cares? And that way you keep Achane, and you get to pair him up with another running back. Obviously, you still got Swift, Dowdle, Then you start piecing those guys out. Hey, who wants Dowdle for a second? Who wants Swift for a second? Try to get second and a plus, but that's how you just recoup that way while upgrading your other pieces. You can't trade this guy. You have a bunch of running backs. He has a bunch of running backs. He's not going to take KAMARA and Crosby Merritt and Blake Corum, and you're going to get back Javonte Williams, giving 3 running backs for 1 running back, and it doesn't make sense that way. That's why you got to give up like Bill, youth, younger, and then you got to give up like a second. And those two things combined, all right, that upgrades to, that up tiers to Javonte Williams. So it's just how you have to play the game sometimes. You have a bunch of running backs. They have a bunch of running backs. You give up a running back and a picks, and then now you go to other people, and now you sell your old running backs that you couldn't trade to him. You trade those for picks, and you get your picks back. It's just a big mess of like trying to come back to what you had already. That's basically the workaround when you're trying to get rid of players. Try to do this guy right here, 4 good running backs. So maybe he'll give you 1. Guy's 3 running backs, probably won't give him up. Guy is 2 running backs. So yeah, there are only 2 options, sadly. So let's check it out. You probably totally like give him like DeAndre Swift at least, so then he gets a running back. Obviously, Genty, Gibbs, Taylor, Chase Brown. Those top 3 guys are probably his more valuable. He's more likely to like hold on to them for dear life type ones and get you Chase Brown, AJ Brown, Pearsall, Jaden Higgins. So maybe we could sneak Jaden Higgins to you while getting rid of Michael Wilson. I wouldn't be mad about getting rid of a Dunze right here to upgrade to Chase Brown, but you still get a sneak Jaden Higgins to you. I think he's gonna really turn up this season. I think he's really gonna be good. Can't work a tight end to him because he already has Brock Bowers. Obviously, you could throw in picks and stuff. So I think this is a pretty good deal right here. Obviously, you could do like Swift and like a second, 207 if that tickles his fancy. I don't remember if this guy likes picks or not, but even something like this would be fine. If you want to take out the second, you want to give him Bill instead. Maybe he believes in Bill. Don't know why you would want 2 running backs, but I was just saying in the last one, why would you do this? But hey, maybe he does want this. It doesn't hurt to send the offer, but don't send this as your only offer and be hard-headed and be stubborn and say I'm only going to give you 2 running backs for 1. I'm only going to trade running backs for running backs, 3 running backs for your 1 running back. No, don't do that. But send options. Obviously, if you can get rid of Michael Wilson, he likes Michael Wilson more than Roma Dunze because Michael Wilson had a really good pop-off last season. I would do that too. He's going to be hard carried by AJ Brown here, so yeah, he definitely needs like a wide receiver back. Jaden Higgins is probably still in his taxi. Hopefully he doesn't realize how good he is or the hype that goes with him this offseason, so that could be a steal for you right there. I think that's all that would be really appealing to him. He could also like come over here, and this guy wants a 207 with Terry McLaurin. I would do that easily. If you really want to get that wide receiver 2 spot up though, I think this guy's your trade partner right here. This guy has JSN, Egbuka, Devontae Smith, Brian Thomas Jr., Trey Harris, Luther Burden, Brandon Ayuk, Drake London. It's a good team right here. You should probably trade with this guy. You're just going to have to pay up a 2027 first and second if you're going to get BTJ. Who cares about that? You're playing for this year, right? You're playing for this year. It's really all I would do with this team. Don't really have too many final thoughts. I think you're definitely could be a win now team. You're definitely contending last year, so you're doing fine already. You're doing good already. Roma Dunze, if you could swap off of him, I'm scared of him. So yeah, running back 2 spot, definitely need to upgrade that. If somebody treasures Michael Wilson like he finished the season last year, I would get rid of him. Call your peak on him. For Cousins, whoever ends up with Fernando Mendoza, hey, go look their way. See if you can get him Kirk Cousins. Hey, go pick up Geno Smith. That would work for me. Blake Corum, maybe he gets a 50-50 role with Kyron Williams. You can go to the Kyron Williams owner. Maybe you can finally use him as your running back 2 flex type of player weekly. Rashad White should be good this season. Darnell Mooney should start the season off pretty good. Godwin, if he gets traded during the season or if he leaves Tampa Bay next offseason, you better hope that he goes to a good passing offense. That's all I could say. Maybe he goes to the Chiefs. Goes to the Chiefs for a cheap deal. Tries to get another ring. Jaden Reed. Hopefully they throw the ball more. Gatskin does not look good this year. Charlie Kohler hype. They signed Njoku. Maybe he just has to re-break out the next year. Roma Dunze, new normal. Me personally, flip him for Luther Burden. Anyone in that area. We could say the too many mouths to feed thing too. Would just rather take somebody with a more focal point on the offense, honestly. Tucker Kraft, hopefully he comes back and doesn't start off slow. He just gets right back into into the groove again. Hopefully Caleb Johnson finds his way onto the team. I'm hearing he might get cut. That would be so annoying. He will become a first round roster clogger real quick. Bill, hopefully he turns up, but hey, sell on the hype if someone believes in him. If you really want to tear this down, two firsts. Jalen Hurts, Achan, you could probably hold on to him. Swift, get rid of him. Second plus. Would hold on to Jamar Chase, Michael Wilson, young enough to keep, but hey, get rid of him. Dallas Goedert, gotta get rid of him. Dowdle, get rid of him. Bo Nix, probably can keep him. Kirk Cousins, get rid of him. KAMARA, I would take a third for him if you're really just trying to strip it down and rebuild right here, right now. Blake Corum, you might be able to hold him, but attacking that Kyron Williams owner for sure. Rashad White, has a few good games, sell him at the peak. Darnell Mooney probably could easily go to that Malik Neighbors owner if he starts up on the pup and Mooney starts shooting. Godwin, get rid of him now before Agbuka takes that room over. Jaden Reed, you probably have to wait for a good game. Roma Dunze, young enough to keep, but get rid of him. James Conner right here, nah. Tucker Kraft, probably could keep him. Bill, probably young enough to keep, would capitalize on the hype, get rid of him. Mayotron, probably can just keep him. Do all that, focus on 2027, 2028. Super boring answer, but bang, bang, bang. That's how you will be set up for a dynasty, if we're being for real. It's just super boring to give the advice to tank for the year, because that's all you do. You just sell your guys high. It sucks in our league, actually, because we played for the first overall pick, so you wouldn't be able to strip your team all the way down, because you still need to win that loser bracket. It's a pretty good team, not too bad. QB3 and RB2, you know, wants more than needs. Not a bad team, not a bad team. Alright. That team wasn't that bad. Nothing crazy in my opinion, but every team could use some TLC for real. That's all you need to do. That and your daily dose of send that trade. Send it. That's it for today, though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, rebuilds fade, dynasties right.
Call me a lover boy, simp, Libra. It's more than love sick. I got a fever. Feelings overloading. Not to be a diva. Standing 10 toes down. I'm not gonna leave you.